Lil Durk snitches on King Von and apologizes in court. With Durk facing the death penalty and having just appeared in court for his first hearing, it is not surprising that he is going to great measures to defend his reputation. We already know some of his acquaintances are snitches, and we recently learned that he may have already eavesdropped on King Von. The results are astounding. On October 29, Lil Durk appeared in court. His fiancée, India Royale, appeared outside the Miami courtroom where he was scheduled to see a judge, which is fantastic news. We now know that Durk is awaiting transportation to Louisiana for a pre-sentencing session, as that state is where his alleged acts occurred. Publicly available court documents provide valuable details about Durk's case and his jail status. Officials claim that Banks Lil. Rumor has it that Durk's crew members are spies, despite the fact that the official charge against him is payback for the death of King Von. Because he was at odds with TB Banks, Durk announced a reward for TB's capture and ordered TB's death. Using money linked to Banks and OTF, the hitman carried out the murder. Additionally, we have learned that two of his co-defendants have chosen not to participate in their detention hearings and will be sent directly to Los Angeles to stand before a federal judge. Their desire to come out may be motivated by the fact that Oblak isn't doing well right now, let's say. Despite facing some serious charges, Durk isn't having a bad time. In fact, it seems like he is enjoying his confinement. According to reports from the Miami jail where he is being kept, Durk is in a good mood and has been described as quite personable and gregarious. They also claim that the food is the only thing Durk has complained about in the jail thus far. Even though the evidence against him is overwhelming, he must have faith in his defense because he has already made public his decision to enter a not guilty plea. This legal storm might result in a death sentence if it happens, but he appears unfazed. Why is the unwavering support of his friends and family so? Remaining upbeat, we recently learned that his father attended his pre-trial hearing, as you can see below. Durk's bail was denied. Therefore, he will probably remain in jail until the trials are over. His next hearing is not in Miami, but rather in the Central District of California. Here is a supposedly recorded video of him at his recent hearing in Miami. As we noted, he doesn't appear to be in a very good mood. Crazy, he is accused by prosecutors of being the mastermind behind an assassination conspiracy against Cuello Rondo, who many believe killed King Von. In 2022, the story takes place close to the Beverly Center in Los Angeles, where Kay's cousin was shot and killed. Durk and 5 other people allegedly plan to kill Cuello Rondo Durk, the head of the Chicago rap group OTF, which the authorities claim is both a gang and a music group. According to the Los Angeles Justice Department, King Von was the only one responsible for the attempted murder, as evidenced by a screen grab of CCTV footage. The prosecution claims that Cuello Rondo was struck by Q in 2020, and in retaliation, his friend Al-Alteen fired and murdered him. However, they are now claiming that OTF traveled from Chicago to Los Angeles to find an exact revenge on Cuello Rondo after 2 years of surveillance, allegedly firing 18 rounds into the car that contained Cuello. Durk may have believed he got away with it throughout the day because it was 2 years ago, but it appears the FBI was quietly preparing to present their case. The federal authorities had located the alleged shooters a few days before his capture, and 5 of them were arrested in Chicago. According to reports, as soon as the fact that Mr. Banks was apprehended while trying to leave the country is further proof that the FBI and our excellent partners at the Los Alamos Defense Research Center Long Range are the Los Angeles Police Department. The police claimed that after learning of the trial, he attempted to postpone it by booking 3 different flights. They also said that while you're living your life believing you got away with it, the FBI is collecting the evidence that will lead you to ruin. It appears that the federal government is making every effort to remove some of the most well-known rappers who have been charged with offenses whose exact nature is currently unknown. Despite the evidence against him, others argue that Durk should get away with it as long as his team remains silent. We're learning, however, that the rumors aren't as reliable as you think. One of them even suggests that Durk may have betrayed Vav to spy on King Von Durk. As reported by Charleston White in November 2023, V was killed for attacking a smaller individual. Don't shame Durk. Over the years, Charles has made several statements regarding Durk, including calling him an agent of darkness. We're not going to hold Durk responsible, even if he did spy on V.
If energy is dark, then what does that make you? If everything you saying is kill, murder, you a tool of darkness. You ain't got nothing to say. Love your mama, hug your sister, care for your baby.
He then talks about how everything around Durk dies.
If everything around you dying, and nothing about you is positive, man, we can't look at him and say one good thing about what he says, what he rap about, his image, what he projects to children. They won't even tell you.
Charleston's opinion of him is obvious, but he goes into further detail about Durk's betrayal of his partner, King V, which only serves to worsen the issue. Durk lost the case and filed it on behalf of his deceased partner. Charleston continues. Inside My C, he then goes into detail about how V was a killer and Durk wasn't, asserting that we can be certain that he was when the other members weren't around to sing and rap. He then makes the absurd assertion that the reason V is so well known is because of an incident in 2019 in which Von and Durk were both arrested and charged with shooting someone. Because the witnesses to King V's crimes were discovered dead, we can all be certain that this led to his release from prison and subsequent ascent to prominence. According to Charleston, Durk's amazing escape from punishment was caused by his snitch on View in May 2019, when he turned himself into the police. At the time, the incident was a major one, and he even wrote a song called Turn Me about it. A companion named King V was arrested and charged with a number of offenses, including engagement in criminal street gang activity, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, aggravated assault, and possession of a firearm while committing a felony. Defeated them in a miracle following King V's assassination in October 2022. The case was fought for over 3 years before the accusations were inexplicably dismissed. The courts claimed that this is because there is not enough evidence, even though there was purported video footage indicating Durk pulled the trigger during the incident. Happened outside of an Atlanta restaurant in February 2019, and police initially claimed to have CCTV evidence of Durk driving while brandishing a gun outside the establishment. After a trial that lasted 3 years, the charges were dropped, and the official explanation for this was the circumstances of this. The incident was reviewed, and it was decided not to charge the defendant even though there was probable cause for their arrest. Charleston White, however, believes there is more to the story and speculates that Durk might have provided data about VA to the police in order to have the charges against him dropped. There is only one accusation of snitching against Durk, and some even claim that he snitched on Young Thug. I'm sure you know that Young Thug has been fighting a ratio case for the past few years. There are severe consequences associated with this important topic. The fact that Durk chose to acknowledge that he spoke with Young Thug and told him, "I could have been a part of that RICO," in reference to all the individuals he shot, seems a little strange. I told Thug over the phone that he had to acknowledge that every shot he had was a dumb thing to say in a song, as the prosecution was already exploiting his lyrics. Opposing him, a heated discussion took place in the post comment section, and some of the comments were really interesting. "I don't understand how this means that Durk snitched on Thug," one person said. "Is it your intention to suggest that this could be used as evidence against him in court? I'm beginning to question why Durk would say this in the song," someone said. If Thug had been his friend and someone else said that a rap snitch was informing everyone, they would bring their own star witness to testify in court. Are you able to see the criminal? Look around. I'm right here, and you can see the entire story. Then, that wouldn't be odd. His team is notoriously snitchy. The label has been putting up with him for years, so there are essentially only 2 possibilities here. Either he snitches or his lyrics are crap. Have a look. We claim that OTF is notorious for being snitches. Therefore, Durk appears to be part of a larger gang. According to their claims, OTF Jam, one of their members, has been a police officer for a long time. He wore a wire and provided false information about Durk and other people connected to the police for 12 years. What's even more odd is that he was apparently. His 12-year prison sentence was lifted shortly after Rondo and his cousin were fired. As you can expect, fans shared their thoughts on the news when it was broadcast on X. Similar to Young Thug's lyrics, some believe Durk has been giving away too much in some of his songs. Durk says, certain events appear to be comparable to the discovery that OTF Jam had worn a wire for 12 years, which led to the death of Rondo's cousin LP. According to one user, they most likely cooked, and they may be correct. It could cook Durk and OTF Jam if it's true. Who else might be going down with Durk, with snitching, and what else are the police aware of? Don't be surprised if you haven't heard of OTF Jam. He's a relatively unknown rapper from Chicago. To dispel any misunderstandings, let's listen to another rapper from Chicago. He goes by the name King Yell, and check out what he has to say about OTF Jam and what it means for Durk and his team.
I don't know if he's been charged with nothing, probably questioning me. They put an OTF in a lot of things. But I heard somebody named OTF Jam, they said they've been calling him a rat. And basically he said,
to make things even odd, he has written songs about the problem of Jam snitching. That's correct indeed. Jam allegedly confessed to sexual assault in a trash song he published. In the song, he notes that Durk and other OTF members have been involved in shootings, but it's not the only example. No, it isn't a joke. Jams released the dubious tune Federal Freestyle. In fact, the song's exact title is that. It was even included on Durk's own YouTube channel shortly after his release from jail. In the comments section, Durk fans have posted some humorous comments about him. One fan wrote, "I jammed. I turned your cable over." It appears that OTF is not as dedicated as they claim to be. For years, Chicago was regarded to have the most dangerous and authentic gangsters in the country, but it appears that this may be changing. Whack 100 provided some thoughts on it as well. Interesting topics to talk about. He gave him $50,000, bought him cars, and was honest, DJ Vlad Whack said in an interview. He acknowledged that he had never been involved in a gun case or been a rat, but he later turned on DJ Vlad and revealed that Jam had been in prison for 12 years for trying to kill someone. It took place back in 2010, and Vlad continues by pointing out how ironic it is since Jam was released right before PAB was shot. It's unclear how much information the feds actually have on Durk and his organization, but this is beginning to look like a massive conspiracy. A snitch by one of their official members, such as Jam, could encourage others to come out. Even though they spoke to the authorities, 5 co-conspirators have already been taken into custody. Durk's fulfillment is ironic and somewhat disheartening because he no longer has a strong desire to be a mafia. In September 2024, over a month before his arrest, Durk was enjoying himself and thrilled about. When his criminal record was eventually cleaned, he was overjoyed because he had spent the majority of his life in legal difficulties. On Twitter, he first announced the news, stating that everyone should be given another chance at life because everything depends on how they handle it. He then expressed gratitude to God. "I have no criminal record and no charges against me, so good luck to him. Thank God. I want to thank everyone who helped push my vision forward," he adds, expressing his sincere gratitude to everyone who has assisted him. In case you were curious about his criminal background, it started in 2011 when he was found in possession of a gun and sentenced to 18 months in prison for gun-related offenses. From that point on, it was essentially a downward trajectory. For the same offense, he was once more in handcuffs just 2 years later. Despite being placed on probation, he had already been found guilty of a crime. A few gun-related crimes are rather common among Chicagoland residents, but having your record cleared is rare. Durk was so fond of the infamous city that he even offered the mayor a sizable gift of money, demonstrating his gratitude and aspirations to grow it. That's $150,000. Actually, it sounds a lot like a bribe. Regarding his friendship with Durk, Mayor Brandon Johnson vehemently denies any wrongdoing on the subject. Durk discusses violence and murder in all of his songs, so this raises some concerns, but it's also possible that he was just trying to help. The mayor did not, however, respond when asked what he would do with the money. If the mayor truly cared about the community, Durk would have wanted to keep the money, but now that he is back in jail, he will not be able to do so. Instead, he will have to return the money that people are requesting or perhaps donate it to the city. Before Durk was jailed, the city of Chicago even offered him the city's keys as a token of appreciation for his assistance. Writing such phrases as alleged gangbanger is not appropriate. While it is intended to be a pleasant gesture that honors those who make valuable contributions to a city, in practice, when Diddy received the key to New York from the mayor last year, he received the same treatment. In Diddy's case, however, the strange thing is that New York Mayor Eric Adams was charged with the crime not long after he gave Diddy the key. We're not giving these keys to decent men, after all. Following the announcement that Durk Banks was arrested in Florida and charged with murder for hire, the mayor of Chicago stated that the village of Broadview is working hard to make amends for the damage created by their backing of Durk. If he did, I wouldn't be shocked. They removed our honorary key to the village and announced that their collaboration with his charity was ending. Durk loved Chicago, but they insisted that it would be better if they were not connected to any suspected killings. At the beginning of June 2023, he was only assisting one city. Although it's unclear what his true goals were, Durk seemed to be trying to change his habits by helping a homeless man in Leh. The assistance they gave was certainly appreciated by the man. Durk allegedly found Pedro Ramirez, a poor man, and gave him a brand new phone and a 30-day hotel stay. The homeless man's recent viral popularity in performing Durk's song All My Life, starring J. Cole, from outside his tent is said to have prompted Durk to show him kindness. What is interesting about the song? Durk even mentions sitting down with politicians in the song, saying, "I've sat with the mayor and politicians, and I'm trying to change the image, but remember the police are saying, I've tried to change my ways and be a more positive influence all my life." Given that Durk is a master criminal, could this have all been a plot to avoid punishment? It's a complete coincidence that he chose to assist a homeless man in Los Angeles, of all places, especially because that's where the shooting took place and Durk would be held accountable if he was at fault. If they plot so far in advance, we can all agree that the guys are crafty. Even if he was just looking for a new beginning and his violent background came back to haunt him. Block is regarded as the birthplace of drill and is home to Durk and many of Chicago's most well-known and aggressive rappers. Chicago had a lot of gang beats before music became prominent, and the two main rival gangs were the Black and Gangster Disciples. The genre was first popularized by Chief Keef in the 2010s, and Durk quickly followed. The two of them quickly rose to fame with their harsh lyrics that portrayed life on the streets. Those who follow Christ, even though Durk was a member of the Black Disciples, the conflict was still mostly over rap. Among other things, it spread throughout Chicago, drawing more participants and ultimately led to V's demise. In case you missed it, it began with V's rivalry with the young NBA player. V was killed by the Fate shooting after he and Quando Rondo got into a fight when he was a little boy. This, in turn, was the beginning of a lengthy series of events that resulted in Von's death and Durk's imprisonment for seeking retribution. To understand Durk's imprisonment, you must first understand what happened the night Von died. Essentially, V became estranged from Quando Rondo's mentor, a young NBA player. In a club, Quando was attacked by V upon seeing him. The video of the incident, which shows V wearing a white shirt and Quando leaning on the automobile, is available for viewing. Then chaos breaks out as V starts pounding him. Self-defense, but after causing mayhem and injuries, Durk was eventually arrested. 10 was able to have the charges against him dropped. indicating that Durk and his team decided to take matters into their own hands. In 2022, Durk was shot at a patrol station where his cousin was killed, and the authorities claim he was responsible for the second incident. It appears that Durk knew he would be caught in the act because the song Federal Nightmares People was released the same year that PB's murder was allegedly plotted. The song's lyrics make it clear that Durk knew this was going to happen. Was it just a song, or is this another instance of him using his lyrics to divulge too much? His songs won't help him. If you listen to this one, he says he issued a bounty, which sounds a lot like what the police are claiming he did. Hearing Durk's side of the story will help you understand why he hasn't been given a chance to appear in court. To Lil PAB, it resembles a disc. Not only is the name memorable, but the music Beverly Hills was never made available. Accusing.
By the side from comments. Still, I don't know if people still say it. They used to say it, but you also mentioned a song. They be like, they be singing Slide for Vaughn. I think they trolling me. Yeah, but that song is fire. I ain't gonna lie.
Reason I just don't see the comments no more. Some odd reason. I don't know. Might be the water.